All right, guys, I am here with my weekly What Sold video. Spoiler alert, it wasn't great. Again, I'm really sad about it, and I actually had a pretty crappy week, other things personal-wise, so we will get into that a little bit. But I am going to share some sales with you. I'll at least show you what's selling right now. The last couple of days have been pretty decent, but then I had some returns, so it's just been a little stressful. But you know what? We're going to keep going. So before we get into it, I am going to talk about a new company that I'm using for poly mailers. So you guys know I used to use GyroPack. I don't know if they fell off the radar or what. They stopped responding to me. And so I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. So that being said, I'm working with a new company, a la mode mailers, and I like them a lot better. First of all, lots more cuter designs. Here's their website. And you can see, let's just get into some of their mailers. I've already ordered a couple and they are really cute. They have lots of different sizes, but lots of fun prints. So check these out. I got these ones one time and I really like it right here. It says, "Thanks, you're the best." They're so cute. Got the ocean ones and the pink and gold ones. They also have some bigger ones, these 12.5 by 15, so some of the same designs but just larger, which is good for like coats, jackets, dresses, jeans. That being said, if you guys need some poly mailers for your business, if you want to go ahead and click that link down below in the description, it's going to be the first one. You can save a percentage on your order and get some mailers for your business. I use these for all of my eBay, Merkari, Depop. On Poshmark, I use the free USPS stuff since I can use that, the priority things, but definitely use these for the other things. So check them out. They're really good. They also are reusable. So they have this like strip on the back. Let me see if I can show you. And you can, oh, here's a little video. And you can reuse them. Oh, see right here, reusable seal. So that's kind of cool. So you can send it to somebody and then they can reuse it again if they're a seller or if they want to like sell something of their own, you know. So anyway, some really cool features there. Check that out if you're interested, if you need poly mailers. We'll start with Merkari with my one lame sale, and it was a Free People shirt that sold for $19. This was a white, size large, oversized cotton top, just a basic short sleeve. I didn't expect it to sell for much more than that. I'm going to turn, actually, I don't want to turn off my ringer because like I said, I've got a lot of stuff going on, and if people text me, I need to be able to answer that. So yeah, one sale on Merkari. Nothing on Depop. I had no sales that people messaged me through Instagram. Also, I got my hair cut. You can probably tell. It's kind of stupid right now with my ponytail bump, but I had to go in and I asked my hairstylist to chop off my dead ends, which was a lot because my hair was really dry. So that was sad. But she did recommend, she talked about how she thinks a lot of the water is like really drying people's hair out and breaking it, the minerals and stuff. She said she's worked with a lot of clients, so she recommended this shampoo that can help with, it's called Hard Water Wellness, I think. So I'm going to try that and we'll see. I think I talked in one of my other videos about my sad hair issues. I don't know. I guess let's go to Poshmark. So this is sales from the 11th through the 17th. I sold this Madewell jumpsuit. Really happy about this. This sold really quickly. Oops, I didn't open the full listing. This sold for $28. You know what? I'm just going to open it up. It was a burgundy jumpsuit, size medium. I did have somebody message me about this on Instagram, but it wasn't her size, sadly. This is super cute. These are very trendy. These one-piece, like onesies or bodysuits or jumpsuits, whatever you want to call them. So excited about that, that it sold pretty quickly. This was a vintage vest that sold for $16. I was starting to accept pretty much any offer these last few days since sales have been so horrible. This was not branded. This was bought purely off of style. So with a $16 offer when sales are slow, I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and take it. Next up, I sold these Dansko shoes for $16. These were a size 10. They were this like galaxy star print. I have had these ones for quite a while and they had a little bit of scuffs. I've been trying to be a little bit more careful when I'm shopping for Danskos in the store to not get ones with scuffs. This Patagonia jacket sold in a day for $25. It was definitely an older style, but still had their classic logo. Just a women's black zip-up lightweight jacket, so nothing special. I probably could have got more for that, but like I said, accepting basically all offers. So also that being said, I don't want to go lower than like probably 40%, unless it's something that I like absolutely know this is worth this much. So if you guys want to come shop with me, I am accepting a lot of offers. This was the brand Fox and Hen. This dress sold for $37. And I've never heard of this brand, so let me know if you guys have. Here's what the tag looks like. It was called the Eye of the Tiger dress, and I got it because I just thought it was so fun. I did look up comps, but it was a maxi dress, and maxi dresses can make things a little bit more valuable, or like another factor that can make it worth more money. This vintage shirt sold for $25, which I was really happy about. This was an Aeropostale polo. So this is what their older tags look like. So this was probably made in the late 90s or the early 2000s, and it had a little butterfly in the chest. It was just a red short sleeve polo, sold for my full asking price of $25, which is kind of crazy to me, but I'm really happy with it. So be on the lookout. The Y2K stuff is going crazy. This was a new with tags J. Crew dress that sold in 2 days. It wasn't a size extra large. It was a short sleeve tiered mini dress. So happy about that. I sold these Earthbound pants really quickly for $25. I think these only retailed for like $40. So I was really happy with that. They were like baggy, loose kind of harem pants. They were also seen as worn on this girl from Outer Banks. So I think that maybe could have helped. So that was kind of cool. Next up was a vintage dress that sold for $27. I'm happy when any of my style-based stuff sells because I feel like I'm still in an experimental stage with it. So that means I'm doing it right, or at least some of it. So it had this like baby doll neckline with the tie detail. It was floral. It was just this brand, La Belle. You can tell with the paper tag, and then it says made in the USA. Oh, it was new with tags. Wow. Forgot about that. So obviously that helped. That would be called new with tags dead stock when it's vintage, but it still has the tags. I sold these Vionic sandals for $16. I'm really trying to move out my sandals that I have left, and I'm not picking up much more new ones unless they're a really good brand or they're in excellent condition. Next up is this bundle, but I couldn't find 2 of the items. So I'm currently messaging the buyer and asking her if she wants to replace them. And get ready for some major fails coming up in my feed. It's going to start getting to why I had a depressing week. This is a Sundance top. This was a extra large blue floral embroidered top. Sold for $25. I was hoping to get closer to $30 or $35, but they made an offer on it really quickly, so I decided just to give them a good deal. Next up is another pair of Vionic sandals. These ones sold for $20. These are in a size 8.5. They were called the Black Suede Margot sandals. They are studded, like a flip-flop style. So $20 is pretty normal on those. I had to cancel this Rami Brook top. What happened with this was, you can see that we have the sold out banner, but the buyer still purchased it anyway. So lately I haven't been getting any issues with Poshmark with deleting things. I went back to my normal deleting things when they sell on other platforms, and I have not been getting anything. I haven't been hearing of suspensions happening anymore. So maybe they fixed it. Let me know your experience. But for a little while there, I didn't want to delete things because I could not afford for my Poshmark closet to get suspended. So I was putting as my first picture this sold out banner. People were still buying things. I don't understand why. I feel like that's very, very obvious. Maybe I should have put it in the title. So I had to cancel it. I mean, obviously, I don't have it anymore. I already sold it somewhere else. This was an Ann Taylor trench coat that sold for $54, which I was really happy about. It was new with tags. Tan belted trench coat. A classic trench is always good. Obviously, if you got a good brand attached to it, it'll do better. Next up was this Anthropologie Maeve dress. This sold for $50. So I was really happy about this. It was this really pretty purple checkered midi length dress, and it was new with tags. So you can see it retailed for $178. I got $50. A lot of Anthropologie goes on sale. It's really hard to get close to retail. These are a pair of Gap jeans that sold for $30. These were new with tags, and these were a pair of barrel leg jeans. They were also in a size 31 long. So with a good style plus a good size, that did make them more desirable. So happy with that. Let's get back where we left off. I sold this J. McLaughlin dress for $17. I've had this one for a while. Catalina cloth, size large, blue printed dress. I sold 1 pair of Figs scrub pants. I think I showed you recently. I got 2 pairs of these. They were in a size extra large tall, and they were black, so that's why I decided to grab them. So 1 pair sold super quick for $20. So I'm happy with that because lately Figs hasn't been doing great for me. This Title IX dress sold for my full asking price of $30. This was a size medium, and it was called the Freelance dress. It was a V-neck, kind of mesh detail, knee-length dress. I sold these pants. They were called, they were a pair of motorcycle pants or like dirt bike. And the brand was Troy Lee Designs. You can see it right there on the side. They sold for $37. I'm happy with that. I don't pick up dirt bike, motorcycle stuff very often, but I don't see it very often. Usually if it's a decent brand that is worth some money. So make sure you check out comps when you're at the thrift store. Next up was this Sundance sweater that sold for only $13. This was in a size small. And I don't know why it sold. I think I've just had it for a really long time and it's went through markdown. So I am starting to relist a little bit more now, but that thing didn't get relisted. Okay, here we go for depressing times. Lily Pulitzer shorts. Not in my inventory. Athleta. They sold a while ago somewhere. And for some reason, I forgot to cancel them. Same with these Bed Stew shoes. Same with this Ming Wang cardigan. Oh my gosh, this day, there was like 2 days this week where I was like, okay, I'm not, seriously, there's nothing wrong with me, but like, I make jokes like I'm going to jump off a cliff or something like, I'm not like in really mental health issues, but like sarcastically and frustrating. Oh my gosh, I was about ready to freaking die. Oh, I was like, what is wrong with me? What is actually wrong with me? Anyway, back to the sales. Can you guys relate? Please tell me somebody else does this and I'm not the only dumb one. These are a pair of Judy blue jeans that sold for $25. I was happy with this because people were telling me that the pink Judy blue was going to be really hard to sell, but I still sold them really fast for $25. I have another pair, and so I hope they sell good as well. After that, I sold this Prana dress for $26. This was in a size extra large, really cute little floral print, yellow high neck, probably midi length dress. Great sale there. Next up with these Anthropologie Pilcrow sandals that sold for $20. These were just a pair of flat like gladiator leather lace-up sandals, really cute for like festival season. I sold this Miracle suit for $22. I've already sold this once before and it got returned. I sold it again. I could have got more money. I was taking almost every offer. Imagine if I wouldn't have taken these offers. And look at that, we have more cancellations. I told you guys my week was bad. But on a positive note, I sold this Allison Olivia sweater for $105. Praise of all praises. This was a size large. It was a wool crochet with this really cute little floral embroidery and buttons. This is a huge bolo, so if you see this out, pick it up. That was exciting. I sold a bundle of 2 things for $50, a J. Crew sweater blazer and a La Gens cardigan sweater. You can see here they were priced at $45 and $31, and I accepted her offer of $50. And guess what we have here? 2 people buying things that said sold out. A Calvin Klein dress and a swimsuit. And then I had to cancel another order because this O'Neill dress sold overnight on 2 different platforms. Oh my gosh. Let me see what this mom says. Okay, I have to answer this mom for volleyball really quick. That's part of my drama. Okay, John Paul, who hadn't even come to anything, and the 2 new brothers from last week open gym. I sold a Talbot sweater for $25. This sold in a day, which I'm really excited about. It was in a size 2X. It was an ivory cream cable knit, preppy looking sweater. I did use the keyword old money. Happy about that. This Kuyana blazer sold really fast in a couple of hours. So did I price it too low? Let me know. I sold it for $68. I've never found this brand before. Comps were pretty decent, but I priced mine a little bit higher than average comps and it still sold really fast. So I don't know if it was just like happened to be right buyer, right time, but that was nuts. I sold this Pottery Barn flat and fitted sheet set for $43, just a white sheet set. I should have spread this out in my bed, but you know, sometimes I'm just not, I don't have the energy, but I'm still happy with that because I paid like $6 for it. Next up was a Ralph Lauren sweater that sold for $34. This was a size medium. Anytime you see Ralph Lauren with a crest on the chest, whether it's a blazer or a sweater, it usually does make it more valuable. So I would pick it up if it's a good price. Why is it not going back to where I left off? I'm actually going to crash out. Okay, Lululemon dress, $20. This was in a size 6/8. I just guessed because I could not find a size anywhere. Logo in the top back. I also couldn't find a stock photo. So I just used my own. Next up were a pair of men's icebreaker leggings that sold for $25. These were a base layer. They were the 200, so that's like the merino wool like weight, I think, if that's how you say it, if that makes sense. So those do well. I like selling those. Alley Miles tops sold for $22. Size 2X, really colorful, artsy. This is the type of stuff I like to sell from Alley Miles, in the plus size and the more like artsy type prints. And then the last thing was this quince sweater. This sold really fast for $30. A lot of my quince sells quickly. This one did great because it was a cashmere sweater. So 100% Mongolian cashmere, $30 on that. And that's it for Poshmark. Let me just have my quick little break time of venting. Do you guys like when I talk about my personal stuff? Because sometimes I feel like we're just coworkers. And it's like if I was working with you, I would talk to you. So I kind of am working with you, even though maybe it's like virtually. So I'm just going to talk to you. So here's the deal. So you already saw part of the frustration. Lots of cancellations. Part of that is my fault. I guess all of it could be my fault, which makes me feel crappy. Because, I mean, I guess with the sold out banners, that was partly Poshmark's fault. Like, they shouldn't have been suspending people. But maybe I could have been better about putting things in the title or like taking out all of my pictures. Hopefully people wouldn't still buy them, but you never know because people on the internet don't read. They don't read things. They don't pay attention. So that was really frustrating. My system that I use for cross-listing is coming out with an auto delist feature very soon. And I'm actually doing a comparison video with all of the cross-listing platforms. And I still feel like mine is the best one, even though they don't have that feature yet, as compared to cost and all of the features that they have. That being said, sometimes I try to be really diligent about when I make a sale, going to delete it right away. But sometimes I get busy, life gets busy, and I forget. So that sucks. Then multiple returns. And what I realized too is that when I was been doing my numbers every week, I haven't been subtracting my returns from my profit. And that has to be subtracted because that's money that I'm putting back out of my business. So obviously making less money than I thought I was this whole time. How did I forget that? I don't know, guys. I don't know. And then personally, Ryan came back from Brazil and he had a bad ear infection. Oh, so we had to go take him. He went to the doctor. We tried to do natural stuff as much as possible, but he's got surgery coming up, and I'm like, I just need him to get better quickly. So he's on amoxicillin. He's getting better. That's not like a huge deal, but kind of sad. But the worst thing that's been stressing out is my volleyball team that I coach. So if you guys don't know, I coach a boys homeschool volleyball team. We lost a lot of boys last year. We lost 2 seniors and 4 or 5 boys just decided to stop playing, which is okay. But had a really hard time trying to replace them to get numbers enough to get to 2 teams. I hate to have kids sit at a bench all season and not get to play. These parents are paying a lot of money, and that sucks. I understand that sucks. So did lots of advertising last week. I'm like, okay, great. We've got 16 players. That's enough for 2 teams. We can do 8 and 8. Yay. Yesterday, one mom texted me. He's decided he wanted to play flag football, and actually we can't travel. We can't afford it. Okay, whatever. 15. We can still do 8 and 7. Then all of a sudden, so send out a new group text to parents. This whole summer, I keep having to make new group text because we keep having changes. New parents, new kids. Okay, sorry, this is the new group chat. We've had one player decide to drop out. We're still good. We've got 15. Another mom texted me with 2 sons, brothers. Oh, actually, we decided we're moving to Florida, and so we can't play. Oh my gosh. And so, like, I have to be nice because with the first mom, I understand. It's expensive. It's really expensive. And then with this mom, like, okay, if you're moving and you can't play, fine. But, like, it's really, really hard because it's screwing up our teams. And I mean, that's just honest. It's screwing up our teams. And we already paid for jerseys for all these kids. They have their names in the backs of them. So now what? We're just out money. Oh, and so now it's like, can we even let all of these kids play? With only 13 kids, there's 6 kids in the volleyball court. Can we make it work? Maybe, but what if somebody gets sick and what if somebody gets hurt? So I've had to text parents. I'm trying to text my other coaches, see what their thoughts are. I have to text the athletic director. I have to call the uniform company. So it's just been a very stressful morning. I don't understand what God's doing in the situation, but I do know he has a plan. Oh, it's like it almost made me cry when that last mom texted me. I'm like, oh, it's so frustrating. And here is my sister. My niece is playing in a pickleball tournament. And I really want to vent to my sister because she's like my go-to vent person. And she's not answering me because she's watching her daughter play pickleball. Oh my gosh. So that being said, we'll be okay. But I really don't want these new boys. Like there's a couple new brothers and they're such great kids. And I don't want them to just not get to play all season. I'm like, that would literally suck. And I don't want to lose even more players because they don't get to play. So we're doing a last-ditch effort to try to get a couple more kids, but our first practice is literally on Tuesday. Like, we are running out of time. So if you guys could be praying about that, just that we can figure it out. And it might seem dumb that I'm, like, almost crying about it, but it's just, like, been a lot of things, and it's like, ugh. And I'm not usually an emotional person, but it sucks because I really care about these kids, and I just hate this. And I'm just, oh, it's hard. It's hard. But God's got some kind of plan for some reason. And he's probably going to show it to me. Okay, I'm minimizing myself. And we're going to talk about our eBay orders. Thank you for listening to me vent. You guys are like my little YouTube family. Okay, let's go. Tommy Bahama top, $24.99 with a coupon. I need to start a new coupon today on my store. It is expiring. I'm using a 15% one. I think I might bump it up to 20%. Let's just see if we can get some more sales going before next week. I got this because it was an extra large, and I felt like it was fun with the summery colors and the tassels. It did sell really quickly, just not for a ton of money. Next up was this Title IX skirt that sold for $12. I have had this for quite a while. It had some built-in shorts, size 10, nothing amazing. This is a St. John Sport turtleneck sweater. I've already sold this once. It got returned for fit. I sold it again for $30. You can't get anywhere near retail for St. John. Like that probably cost over $1,000, which is actually nuts. Next up is a Citron Santa Monica kimono. Sold this for $99.99 with a coupon. So let's focus on the positives. That's what I'm going to try to do the rest of the day. I'm going to the lake with my remaining players who have decided to stick with us. We're going to go to a lake. We're going to play sand volleyball, spike ball. If they want to go swimming, I'm going to bring them snacks. And I had this really good sale of a Citron Santa Monica kimono. So I'm going to focus on the positives because guess what? Being sad and worrying does nothing. It literally says that in the Bible. Like worrying is not going to do anything for you. So, and I don't feel like I've been like really worried. I've just been more frustrated. But anyway, we are going to try to change my mindset because I know that works. Citron Santa Monica with the plus size, especially kimonos, especially this Asian inspired print, can be a huge bolo. So make sure you're looking out for these. This one, some people sold them for only around $50. I priced mine up, especially because it was in a 1X. So that was a great sale. Next up are a pair of FitFlop sandals that sold for $20. So lots of sandals are still selling. I just think that they're going to be slowing down like really, really soon. Next up was this vintage Y2K 90s guest top. If this looks familiar, it's because I already sold it. And it sold again. It got returned for fit. We hope it sticks this time. Somebody was offering me $17 or $18. I kept counter offering to $25. There's what the tag looks like. And then somebody came back and purchased it for $29.74. I think they used a coupon or something. Or actually, that was an offer that my PrimeLister sent out. That's what it was. So yeah, that was great. Next up were these sandals that sold for $34.99. These were the fake Fendi sandals. So thank you guys for your help on that garage sale video. People have been asking me about the jewelry. I'm sending it in to get authenticated. I think it's real, but I want to be 100%. I do not want to risk my store's health. So these I decided to just list as designer dupe sandals. And they still sold really, really fast for $34.99 with a coupon. So I'm happy with that because I paid $1 for them. So, I mean, you just can't put that brand name anywhere in your title. Next up was a Ming Wang cardigan that sold for $22. This was like a black and green knit. It wasn't a size extra large. Just a basic sale. I sold these Nike Air Jordan shorts for $19.99 with a coupon. I actually had a reseller friend give these to me. They were in a tub of stuff that she said someone gave to her for free. And she never got around to listing them. And so I just went through and I listed some of it. And then some of it I'm going to send to ThredUp. So thank you Oh, I already forgot how to say your name. Eunice? Eunice. I think it's Eunice. Remind me in the comments or like send me a message on Instagram. Anyway, she's my fun reseller friend. I've met a few people locally that I actually like we get along good. We talk to each other in thrift stores and stuff like that. So thank you for the free inventory. That was a positive. This was also a positive. This was a swimsuit that sold for $100. It was the brand GGC. I got a lot of these at a store for $10 each. They kind of feel like a really thick scuba material, but these sell for really good money. So be on the lookout for them. She asked me, put it as a gift. I don't know. I asked around on my Instagram and everybody else was like, I don't do anything for that. And so I just didn't. Somebody said they think it's because she's trying to avoid like international fees. So sorry, I don't know. Next up was this All Saints tee that sold for $20. It was a brown floral with, what is that? Some sort of skeleton bird maybe. It's called the Extinct Top. So maybe that's supposed to be like a dinosaur. I don't know. $20 on that. The Skatey swimsuit sold for $35.99. This was new with tags. I have a few of these. This one's in a size extra small, red, orange. That brand can do okay for swim. Next up was this Anthropologie Maeve dress that sold for $38.24. This was a green floral midi dress. Really, really pretty print. I think this was a newer one, so happy with that sale. I sold this vintage 1996 swimsuit cover-up for $24.99 with a coupon. Some of the vintage stuff will have a little date down below, so you can check for that. This was super cute. Tie-dye, very, very 90s with the colors. I sold this Peruvian Connection dress for $60 with a coupon. Burgundy, it actually says black cherry, but it was a size extra large, and it was a Pima cotton tencel blend. So I like selling Peruvian Connection with their dresses. I sold these vintage candy sandals for $15. I had 2 other pairs of these. The other one sold for more, but like I said, I'm really trying to move out my sandals, so I just took that offer. Next up was a pair of J. Jill pants that sold for $28. These were a rayon polyester blend, and they were new with tags. I decided to grab them. If they weren't new, I don't think I would have picked them up, but since they were, great for somebody for career. Next up were these Athleta pants that I sold for $11.89. These were a really old pair of, whoops, my tags are upside down, leggings that came from my friend in that tub. But since they were free, I'm like, I'm just going to list them cheap because that's probably about all they'll sell for. And they did sell really quickly. This John Mark top sold for $29.74. And this was in a size medium. So if you guys know me, usually I pick up John Mark only in the larger sizes. But this one had a lot going for it. Very artsy tassel sleeves, kind of tropical beachy vacation almost. So I decided to try it out even with the small sizes. And I was correct. Here's another pair of vintage candy sandals. These ones sold for $34 with a coupon. So, I definitely could have got more for those other ones, but I don't know. These ones even had a little scuff. They were like literally wood. But I had to just I'm accepting that offer because what if I don't and I just sit for them in another year? I'd rather not, even though I probably will end up doing that with some stuff. We'll see. Free People tank top sold for $34.99 with a coupon. This was new with tags in a size medium. It retailed for $78. Just a basic little black one. These are a pair of American Eagle jeans that sold for $29.99 with a coupon. Really happy about this. This had a crossover waist. They were strigid, so people do look for this because that means they're just like 100% cotton, no stretch. And they were the super high-rise baggy straight, so the style was good as well. So some American Eagle can still do okay. Next up was this kids April Cornell dress that sold for $20. This was new with tags, but since it was a kids one, it didn't sell for as much, and I've had this for quite a long time. Next up was this vintage Bally skirt. This sold for $39.99 with a coupon. Really fun. I love this skirt. I felt like it was going to do good, and it did. It sold quickly for really good money. I sold this J. Crew top for $34.99 with a coupon. This sold really quickly as well. I just listed this. It was 100% silk, and it wasn't a size 3X, so I think that's definitely factors that made it sell quickly. Another pair of Vionic sandals. These sold in hours. These were in a size 8.5, leather gold braided sandals. Very pretty and very good condition. Next up was this new with tags packed shirt. Sold for $25. This was organic cotton, like baseball raglan style shirt. I sold this new with tags Chico's tank top for $25.99 with a coupon. This was a reversible in a size 2, which is a US 12 or a 14. So happy with that with the Chico sale. These Panhandle Slim boots sold for $34.99 with a coupon. I got these at a garage sale for pretty cheap. And once I got around to listing them, they sold pretty well. That is an eBay offer. Nope, it's a message. Oh, please don't say. Hi, I'm interested in this shirt and 2 others. Do you combine shipping? How can I purchase all 3 without paying shipping cost? Okay, at least it's a positive thing. So what I need to do is, I don't know how to do that. I know I've been selling for a while, but like usually what I do with that is I tell people to just buy them all together and I'm going to ship them all in one package. And she's sending me another message. And then I just tell them that I'm going to refund them the shipping difference. And most people go along with that. So I'm going to see if she will. Anyway, let's get back to the sales. Anthropologie pants, 25, tan wide leg high rise, $21.75. Since these were a smaller size, I didn't figure they would go for much, but since they were like that wide leg, that's when I wanted to try them out. Here's that O'Neill dress that sold for $29.99 with a coupon. It sold on eBay. It retailed for $59.50. This is not a brand I would normally get, but summertime, it's a summery beachy brand, kind of a surf brand. It wasn't a larger size. It was new with tags. So I'm really happy with that. Next up are these Polo Ralph Lauren sweatpants, sold for $19.98. These were like a preppy pink color in a women's size small. I sold these Merrell boots for $25.49. These were men's in a size 10.5. They did kind of have some cracking and some wear, so I was really happy to still get that much money for them. This Eileen Fisher dress sold extremely quickly. It sold for $29.74. It was a midi linen dress, but it did have some discoloration in the armpits, and I could not get that clean or get it back to matching the rest of the color of the dress, so I listed it lower than I would have. I sold this Caroline Rose dress for $25. I've already sold this before and it got returned. This was in a size 1X. So I sold that again. Next up was a Lafayette 148 shirt, sold for $34.99 with a coupon. This was a patchwork design and it was silk, I think. The material tag was ripped out or cut out. So I just put in the description, feels like silk. Like, I think it is. So I don't know. I guess they trusted me. Another pair of J. Jill pants. These ones sold for $29.99 with a coupon extremely quickly. These were just solid black pull-on pants, but they were 100% linen. So that was, I think, why they sold so quickly. Next up was this Bowden dress that sold for $23.99. Green with a cute little ruffle detail. This is an older Bowden tag, so I am kind of careful on what I pick up from them. Here's an Alfred Dunner top. I had a friend, my friend Amy, told me that she sells these as bread and butter, so I tried out a couple. This is the first one I think I've sold in a petite extra large. It looked like a tank top with a cardigan layered over it, but they were connected together. Yeah, so I'm happy with that, with a bread and butter sale. Let me know if you guys sell Alfred Dunner, and that's it on the 11th, and that's it for the video, guys. Okay, let me tell you my numbers. So I need to maybe think of this a different way. Maybe because with some of like, if I say like how much I earned on eBay, there were some times where it's like, that's where I took out my returns. But sometimes I took my returns out of my like total for the day. But it's still like the profit amount at the end is the same. But I think I'm going to start subtracting my returns after my profit and then do it that way. So that being said, I only made $9.19 on Merkari. This is after cost of goods and fees. eBay, $534.53. Poshmark, $532.93. And then after I took out all my return fees, my total profit for the week was $1,076.55. That might seem like a lot to you guys, but it's really low for me in my closet. That was only $153.81 average per day, which is trash. So we're going to pray for a better week. We're going to pray for a better week. We're going to pray for these boys to be able to all get some playing time with my volleyball team. I'm going to pray for myself and my coaches. We're going to pray that sales start picking up because people are thinking of back to school, and just to like enjoy the good things. Enjoy the good things that are happening. And my life is nothing sad compared to some people's stuff that they're going through. So I am just going to be grateful. So thank you guys for letting me vent. Thank you for listening to my What Sold video. Let me know how your sales have been, and I'll see you tomorrow for a haul video. All right, guys. Bye.